This is the Fredericksburg Neighbors Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Dory Stewart.
Welcome back to another episode of the FXBG Neighbors Podcast, where we share the stories of our favorite local brands. I have a special guest joining me today. We've got Dr. Jones joining us, and she is with Numbers Matter LLC. Dr. Jones, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Well, thank you for joining me. I'm really excited about this interview and excited to learn more about you and your business. So let's start there. Share with us, what is Numbers Matter LLC?
Numbers Matter LLC is a small business. It's woman-owned. It's owned by myself. And it's a small business. We specialize in psychometrics, IT software training, data analytics, a little bit of instructional design, evaluation and training programs. We can do those kinds of things, survey design. We were founded in 2024. We've been open 2 years as of February 2nd of 26. So I'm excited about that, definitely.
Well, congratulations on the 2-year anniversary. That's an important milestone. I love what you're doing. I would love to learn a little bit more about you and your background. So tell us, how did you get into this?
Oh, wow. So when I was a small girl, I had 2 dreams, and that was to be a doctor, and that was to run my own business. And I always told myself, hey, I want to run my business. I want to run my business. You know, it was just a constant thing that I wanted to do, as well as getting my doctorate. I used to be a psychometrician for a federal client, and I found that I truly love numbers. And as a kid, not so much, but now I truly love numbers. And so I said, what do I want to name my business? I spoke to the Lord, and he told me, he said, hey, numbers matter. Comes from the book of Numbers, numbers matter. And so that's why I named the business Numbers Matter.
I love that. I love that. And so tell me, who is your ideal client? So for the listeners out there, kind of wondering, is this something that she could help me with my business? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Sure. We could do federal, state, city, local, commercial. We don't have just one in particular client. We can render these services across different organizations and agencies, but not just the federal space. So it could be federal, it could be state, it could be local, city, it could even be commercial business.
Amazing. So I have a lot of local business owners who listen to the podcast. And so let's kind of focus on that for just a second. Give me some examples of how you can help a local small business.
Let's say they're wanting to understand a little bit better the needs of their customers.
Mm-hmm.
We can go in as Numbers Matter. We can design a survey for them to push out. It could be a 10-question survey to push out to their customer or clientele or customer base. They fill out the survey. We can make it electronic, of course. Everything today is electronic.
Mm-hmm.
We get it back. We can actually crunch those numbers and using different statistical formulas and derive at certain answers according to how they answered on the survey. And then we can then come up with different things that they can put in place or implement within their company, such as, hey, have better lighting around the store, things of that nature. And we can say, hey, you know what, now you have this, so you can make these informed decisions, and you are able to incorporate the information from the survey into your decision making. So those are just some of the things we can do.
I love that. Thank you for explaining that to me. I appreciate that. And it's such a helpful service for businesses to make sure that they are making the right decisions and not making decisions that might be, sometimes I think you hear from that one squeaky wheel and then you make a decision. This is rooted in analytics, and I love that that's something that you can help businesses navigate.
Yes.
Wonderful. So do you find that there are any myths or misconceptions about what you do?
Many don't understand what a psychometrician is. Many say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a data analyst. It's a little bit of a difference between the data analyst and a psychometrician. Psychometrician, in short, looks at numbers from a psychological standpoint.
Mm.
And that's exactly what a psychometrician is. We can look at tests. I can go into a school system and look at a test or an exam and say, hey, how are you writing the questions? Why are students getting number 5 and 7 wrong? Let's look at how the questions are written. How can we reword the questions to make it better for the student, for them to recall and apply in their answering to what they learned? And so those are just some of the things that, again, we can do. But that's the difference between a psychometrician and a data analyst. Data analyst is just numbers, crunch numbers, crunch numbers, crunch numbers. Whereas we take a deeper look into things, and we can say, hey, you may want to kind of revamp your, exam. And we can help do that by saying, hey, what type of questions are you asking? How about we're asking these questions, or ask this instead of this? And then let's do a pilot to see, hey, are the students getting questions 5 and 7 right? So, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I love that because I, before meeting you, had not heard of a psychometrician before. So,
Many haven't. They're like psychometrician.
right.
I'm like, okay. But yeah, people get it very mixed up. We can look at exams, tests, high-stake exams, anything exam related or not, and say, hey, let's really look at how are you designing your tests. They looked at a medical study a while ago for medical students, and when they take the med test at the end, their exam, and they stated on there just the simplest things. They had down a question about soda. Well, up north, they don't call soda, they call it pop. Down south, they call it soda. And they found that students were getting the question wrong because many didn't know what pop was and many didn't know what soda was. So we as psychometricians, we can look at those things and say, hey, what's the best language here to use? And so I found that to be very interesting. I've done a lot of research on how to do test exams and what questions to ask, how you should not start each question with, like the exam. A survey. Have you ever been? Have you ever been? No, switch up the language. So when you have the survey taker taking that survey, he or she can say, wow, this is a new question in their brain. And they won't become disengaged and say, I'll just answer this question. Who cares? Answer that by saying that answer just to get done with it. So, yeah.
I can tell that you really love what you do.
I do. It's fun. I get a chance to think critically. And I think today we don't take the opportunity sometimes to think critically and to think through things. And so I love what I do because it gives me a chance to do just that.
I love that. And people, a lot of business owners, they don't have time to think through things like that because, they're busy running the day to day. So it's really nice that you can be a partner with businesses and come in and you can be that one to think critically for them while they're busy running their day to day.
Absolutely.
I love that. So clearly running a new business is hard and it takes a lot of time and hard work. So what advice would you give someone who's thinking about starting their own business?
Great question. Do your homework first. Not just about competition, but do your homework, whether it be about trademark, whether it be about, hey, what's the clientele out there for, as far as the need. Do your homework and know that it's a long haul. So really ask yourself before you even pick up a pen, paper, open up your computer, create a name, actually ask yourself, is this something I really want? Thick and thin, do I want this here? Do I want this? Me personally, one of the first things I did was I spoke with the Lord and I spoke with my husband and I said, hey, this is something I really want to do, and I want to construct it this way. A lot of the times we have grand ideas, but
Mm-hmm.
those ideas don't really get you many places. It's just a grand idea. Or
Yeah.
I saw it on TV, so I'm going to try it.
Right.
Really sit down and really, because no one tells you the horrors about, hey, what do you do when you have no work? How do you market yourself? How do you get out? And as simple as making business cards and
Mm-hmm.
saying, hey, those are the things that I think I could have slowed down and did a little bit more of, but I did do
Mm-hmm.
my homework. I was doing my homework though, as I was building the business. So it
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay, don't do this, do that. So it was a lot of learning, and you'll have that.
Mm-hmm.
You won't know everything up front. I would never tell people not to start a business. I think it could be very self-fulfilling. However,
Mm-hmm.
do your homework.
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself if you really want this, and do your homework. That means whether it's, on the computer, networking, maybe speaking to someone who already have a business, or
Mm-hmm.
they had a business, because they can give you their perspective. And don't just get one person you talk to, get multiple people. I didn't say 10, but maybe 2, 3. So you can get those
Yeah.
different perspectives along the way. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I would
I
tell.
love that you said ask yourself that you really want this, because you have to have a really strong why for wanting your business so that it carries you through those hard times.
Correct. And
Mm-hmm.
right now, we're kind of in hard times, and it's like, hey,
Yeah.
business may get slow. What do you do when business is slow?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you have a stockpile of money. Or, hey, I have a client where I have a long-term part-time, gig with,
Mm-hmm.
those things matter,
Yeah.
and I think it's just sometimes those things are not told, but they
Mm-hmm.
matter, and so
Yeah.
if I could give that advice, I would say do it. There's a plethora of information out here, and it's
Mm-hmm.
very confusing. And so that's why I said, if you really um, see someone or know someone, or even meet someone and see someone, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you guys get to talking, and hey, I'm a business owner too. Hey, and if you,
Mm-hmm.
once you establish that healthy relationship with them, then saying, hey, you know what, can you take me under your wing so I can understand? You could tell me these are the things that where I went wrong, or think about these 15 things before you start, but
Yeah.
I would say definitely think within first, definitely.
Yeah. Really great advice. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Mhm.
So, what is something that you wish the listeners knew about Numbers Matter?
Hmm. That I wish they knew that psychometricians are people who can truly help you with your tests, your exams, any type of high stake exams, and that it's only 1%. Last I checked, could be a different number now. That's been well, way long ago. It's not that many psychometricians in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's definitely something I think hmm, people, I think once they understand what it is,
Mm-hmm.
it's a needed and necessary service. So if I could say,
Yeah.
it's people who help you with your exams and your tests, any kind of high stakes exam, and but it's a portion of it where it's to we crunch numbers again, so you're able to make those informed decisions and implement the things that we may get from those numerical values.
Mm-hmm. Such an important service that you have to offer.
Thank you. Yes.
So, if the listeners want to learn more from you, if they want to connect with you, where can they find you?
Sure. Well, I am not a big social media person,
Mm-hmm.
but if you want to, my cell phone number is 571-866-1662. You can also go to my website, which is www.numbersmatterllc.net. That's www.numbers, that's with a S, matter, llc.net.
Amazing. Dr. Jones, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today and sharing Numbers Matter with us.
You're welcome. You know what? I want to also add
Yeah.
my email address.
Okay.
Dr. Jones at Numbers Matter LLC.net. Dr. Jones at Numbers Matter LLC.net.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Jones.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Fredericksburg Neighbors Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to fxbgneighborspodcast.com.